Ayo, what is up, fellow soldiers? Welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. The Halloween event is finally here. Let's find out if you should pull on the Halloween banners and take a quick look at the Halloween event itself. If you enjoy the video, please do like and subscribe. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a great day, and let's get into it. The first impressions of the Halloween banner are that the weapons and gear look absolutely amazing. On that note, we do play games to enjoy them, right? So you should go for what will bring you the most enjoyment in the game. So regardless of stats and optimizing builds, min-maxing, all of that, primarily I want to say that if you like the look of the costumes and the weapons and you don't really care about min-maxing, then go for it. Pull for the weapons, pull for the gear. You can use them as skins. You don't actually have to use the gear itself if you don't like the stats. So again, if you like the look of them, which how can you not look at them, then pull for them. That is primarily the aim. The number one thing is that you enjoy the game, and if pulling for really awesome weapons and skins helps you do that, then I say go all in. Now onto the stats of the weapons and gear themselves. So Cloud's costume is actually a defensive utility healer costume with boost HP and boost heal. The bandaged sword has a AoE magic defense up. It also has boost HP and boost ice resistance. In terms of stats, it is on par with his Mithril Saber, which is his second best magic attack stat weapon. And once you have overboosted it a few times, the magic defense increased potency becomes high, so it's the best AoE magic defense increase you can get. For support materia, it has attack boost, buff debuff extension, and attack boost for ice, which I found pretty weird because the R ability is ice resistant, so you would think, this is a good weapon to take into Shiva very hard for survivability, but it has the boost attack for ice, which wouldn't be very useful against her. So that's something to think about. Sephiroth's gear has boost HP and wind mastery, 20% wind ability damage, which is actually lower than Aerith's recent wind costume, so that's a bit strange. And his Dark Heavens is a wind-based physical DPS weapon. It has the second highest physical attack stat with Nameless. And for support materia, it has 2 physical attack boosts and a circle sigil boost. So very much a physical weapon for Sephiroth. I would pull for the Cloud gear if you do not have a dedicated healer already, or want to turn Cloud into your dedicated healer, especially if you have the Crystal Sword or are willing to pull for it. It has an AoE heal, which is one of the few in the game, alongside Aerith, Matt, and Tifa. So if you have the Crystal Sword and would like to make Cloud your dedicated healer, then you should definitely pull for Cloud's gear and weapon. If you compare the Crystal Sword with Aerith and Matt's AoE healing weapons, all of the weapons have boost heal, and Aerith and Matt's have only a 3% higher healing potency, which really shouldn't make or break anything. Now let's take a look at Sephiroth. Like myself, many people who have already built Sephiroth have been building him as a magic DPS with edged wings, with the boost magic attack and ice potency, and various other weapons that lean towards magic DPS build, like the Aonibi with more magic attack stat and a magic attack increase, etc, etc. So getting a physical based weapon for Sephiroth is a bit of a tricky one. If you've already built a magical DPS, it might just be worth skipping. But if you have gotten some of his physical weapons in your drawers and maybe upgraded some of them, you can definitely work towards a wind-based physical Sephiroth. For example, you can use the new weapon, pulling for it, to get the physical attack boosts, physical stats, and wind potency. If you have Glare Reed, it has boost P attack and his highest physical attack stat. And weapons like Nameless, which is sort of somewhere in between. It has his second highest physical attack, but it decreases magic defense and doesn't give physical or magical. So if you have Glare Reed built and you really want a physical Sephiroth, then this weapon will do wonders for a physical Sephiroth build. So again, I would say if you have already been building your Sephiroth towards magical, it is probably a safe skip for this banner, unless you want to pivot into a physical DPS Sephiroth. Then you really want this weapon from this banner. Or if you want to try and work him into a hybrid physical magic attacker, then this weapon could be a good pickup as well. For those who have not built Sephiroth, if you want him to be a magical DPS, skip this banner, and if you want him to be a physical DPS, you definitely want to pull for his weapon here. Something else that you need to consider are the character growth streams. Most people who have been building Sephiroth have most likely been leveling up his Astral Gate limit break because it is the highest DPS, and that's not a problem because it functions for both physical and magical DPS, so that shouldn't be a big deal. But let's say you really want to lean into physical, you want to pivot your build into physical attack, and you want to get Ardent Flare to raise physical attack, or if you want to go into a hybrid build and also use Ardent Flare for physical attack and magic attack, then you have to consider that you will need to spend a lot more memories to level up an entirely new limit break. The nodes are also important. As a free-to-play player, we do not have enough memories to unlock everything, so if you built your Sephiroth towards magical, you most likely unlocked these nodes here for magic and ignored these nodes for physical, which you can see requires character memories over here. Now if you want to do a physical build or hybrid, you will probably need even more character memories to unlock the physical nodes. And the same sort of thinking here will apply to Cloud for healing. overall, if you have already built Cloud and Sephiroth in a specific way, and you really want to pull on this banner, you will have to consider whether you want to swap Cloud to a healer and Sephiroth to a physical attacker. And if you are not willing to do that, then you should skip. For those who haven't built Cloud or Sephiroth, this is a great opportunity to build a healing based Cloud if you pull here, and a physical Sephiroth. I am undecided. I was initially going to skip, but I'm considering making Cloud my healer so I can turn Aerith into a magical DPS. Of course, on this banner, you can also get Aerith and Matt's weapons from the previous banner, the Prism Rod and Killer Hornet. Now let's take a quick look at the event, which is the Halloween Pumpkin Fest. The event has specific missions, so event specific missions for the duration of the whole event. That gives you some cool titles and backgrounds, and also some exchange items. And then it also has daily missions, where every day you can complete those to get a bunch more exchange items. In the exchange itself, you can get some really cool stuff. You can get the Chocobo Staff for Aerith, which is a great weapon for a healer. It gives boost heal and magic defense, which is perfect for a healer. And it has a single target magic defense increase ability. Support materia are 2 attacks and magic attack, but that doesn't matter so much because you will most likely use it as a sub weapon for the R abilities. They have also added a gear for Aerith, which is the Chocobo suit, and I absolutely adore this. I am crazy about it. I'm a complete Choco fanatic. So much so that in Final Fantasy XIV, I spent millions of gil to completely revamp my house into a Chocobo themed house. So for someone like me, this is absolutely epic. On top of that, it has good stats with boost HP and magic defense for survivability. But if you prefer the boost heal from her rosy battlesuit, you could always use this as a skin if you like. Other than that, there are some Synth Catalysts 5-star day, a couple of draw tickets, Aerith's Memories, which is great, Cleanse as well, which is nice, and 100 Aerith weapon parts, which is amazing, plus the much needed nanocubes and genome pods, and a few other goodies. So that's always really nice. As for the event itself, it is very similar to the Watermelon Tarnberry, where it has a bunch of co-op missions and a bunch of solo missions. The solo missions, if you include the prologue and epilogues, have 8 new story scenes to go through, which is always great in my opinion. And it has a few EX stages where you can get some really cool stuff like the Chocobo Staff and icons, etc. It will be facing the Dark Army leader. He is weak to wind and uses many magic attacks. So, of course, the weapons from the banner, Sephiroth's wind weapon and Cloud's AoE magic defense, are going to do really well here, and Aerith's previous weapon as well, the Prism Rod. Sadly, the boss is resistant to ice, which sucks for me because my magic attack Cloud and Sephiroth is my main DPS. In terms of sigils, you just need a circle sigil, and debuffs, he's immune to most of them, but not magic defense, physical defense, magic attack, and physical attack down. So bring along your breaches, your mana breaches, and your D-faiths. Obviously, in this event, wind-based damage and wind builds are going to perform the best, but you could most likely get through it even if you don't have any wind-based builds like me. Again, for the banners, they are slightly awkward banners because a lot of people have built Cloud as a physical DPS and Sephiroth as a magical DPS, so it might actually be a disappointment for most people, but in the end there are some really cool skins and weapons, so you could go for it if you just want those. My initial thoughts after seeing the abilities and stats was that it's an easy skip, but now I'm actually on the fence, trying to decide if I want to make Cloud my dedicated healer. Last thing is that the event will come out with a second part, so look forward to that. Thanks so much for watching. See ya.